What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video, I'll be reviewing episode 248 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, titled Another Fierce Battle. And I like how in this arc, it is actually a war going on. They actually make it feel like a war where there's multiple battles instead of just one battle or just one fight like there is in certain other anime where the battle is just literally one fight and they call that a war. But in this arc, we have multiple different battles, multiple different fights going on, and it feels like actual war, especially since, they're running out of supplies and stuff, and they're fighting the same enemy multiple times. The enemies have to retreat and regroup and stuff like that, so it actually does feel like a war. And also, we've had multiple characters' deaths in this arc on both sides. We had Hebiichigo die in this episode. A couple episodes before this, we had Kagura die. And we also had Tenma die. So, yeah, this definitely does feel like a war. And not only do I like that about this arc, but also I like the fact that there's been some great relationship development and character development from these characters. Metal Lee and Hebiichigo is a great example of relationship development. They definitely, obviously, became closer during this arc and started to develop a bond during this arc. And Hebiichigo got some great character development because she was talking to Metal Lee in this episode about how the reason she thinks she survives, the reason why she thinks she survived all the way up until now is because she didn't have what she considered a foolish desire to protect other people in battle. She only fought for herself, and she basically told Metal Lee that he should do the same thing. But as we see towards the end of the episode, her mentality on that changed, and she decided to do everything she could to help the team. And she actually put her life on the line to help the team. And she told Metal Lee when she was dying that it's his fault that she found other possibilities for her life, which could be basically her referring to how Metal Lee changed her from what she was previously, where she was pretty much a selfish character, only fighting for herself, to a different possibility where she actually developed a love and bond with her friends to the point where she would be willing to sacrifice herself for them. That could be the other possibility that she was talking about, the possibility of her actually loving others and her actually caring about others and not living her life just for herself. So that could be the other possibility that she was talking about. But yeah, so the episode started off with Metal Lee and Boruto talking about how Iwabe and Denki haven't returned. And then the kids who Iwabe and Denki were with when they went to get the food, they came running back, and then they told everybody that Iwabe and Denki basically got, they basically risked their, they protected them or whatever. They, gave them a chance to escape, and they ended up being captured by the enemies. And then it was a lot of dialogue. Like, for example, Sarada talking to Hebiichigo, and it was a lot of dialogue going on. We had Metal Lee talking to we had Sarada talking to Butan, and we had Metal Lee talking to Hebiichigo about, that whole thing that I just explained about how she says the only reason she survived is because she didn't, put her life on the line for other people, basically. And also we had a scene where they were all talking about how, Team Sarada was talking about how maybe Funamushi is trying to, starve them out since he got Iwabe, since he captured Iwabe and Denki. He probably learned that they were looking for food since Iwabe and Nikki were searching for food. So he probably figured out that they were searching for food, and he might be trying to starve them out, knowing that they don't have a lot of food. So that's probably why he haven't attacked yet. But Boruto said that he doesn't think that's the case. He thinks that, he thinks Funamushi is trying to, he thinks Funamushi wants to avenge Siren, and that's the reason why he killed Kagura. So he thinks Funamushi is going to come after him next. And so then, then Kawaki was like, So if he's after vengeance, he probably just won't. I mean, he probably wants to kill us himself instead of waiting until we, starve out. So Kawaki assumed that maybe Funamushi was waiting for something, and that ended up being the case. Funamushi was obviously waiting for the rain, and he sensed that the rain was going to happen the next day, which is why he decided to attack the next day. And he said that this was going to be his only chance. The next day was going to be his only chance to attack, because he figured that, I think he said it's been a day or two or a couple of days since, the order from Arami or whatever his name is, the leader of the Funamushi clan, to come back, since he got that order from him to come back. and he said that guy, that he's gonna probably come and try to get him by force if he don't come back. If he takes more than a day to come back or something like that. And it's interesting that Funamushi, he's willing to disobey the leader of the Funamushi clan just to avenge Siren. And so, I mean, maybe it's just because he's been with Siren, he's been in Siren's group for a very, very long time, and that's why he cares about her so much. Or it could be that maybe there's something deeper going on with them too. Maybe because we already know Funamushi has a kid, and his kid, I'm pretty sure his kid has blonde hair, just like, well, actually, no, Siren's hair is kind of, her hair is orange. But anyways, yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe that kid is his kid with Siren. That could be a possibility. I don't know that though. But anyways, yeah, he really wants to avenge Siren. And then basically the rest of the episode was the fight. It was the Funamushi, I mean, it was, yeah, the Funamushi's, unit of the Funamushi clan fighting against Team Sarada. And yeah, it was a lot. It was the Team Sarada was vastly outnumbered, but they still did a good job fighting off the Funamushi clan soldiers. And then Funamushi, he did this water style jutsu, this huge, it looked like it was like a huge water style jellyfish jutsu, and then he started to basically he started to do a lot of damage to the village and stuff. And Hebiichigo, well, Boruto basically said that he just needs to get close and hit his Rasengan. So Hebiichigo used her sewing needle sword to bind Funamushi's water style jellyfish, because her threads can actually bind chakra and basically stop chakra from moving around and stuff, as we learned earlier on in the arc. And basically, it gave Boruto the chance to hit the Rasengan on Funamushi. And at first, Boruto used lightning style on Funamushi because he figured out, well, he asked Miski about Funamushi's jutsu, and is it like trying to figure out if it's similar to Suigetsu's. But yeah, it basically what it was. And I don't think he's using the same jutsu. Like, he doesn't have that Kekkei Genkai of Suigetsu's clan, the Hozuki clan, which is the ability to liquefy your body, turn your body into liquid. He doesn't have that ability because I highly doubt he's a part of that clan. But he basically, what Boruto was saying was, since his jutsu require a lot of water to be in the area, he has to absorb water when there's not a lot of water in the area. So when he does that, essentially, since he's absorbing water and it's connecting to his chakra, that basically makes him weak to lightning style, which that's very obvious. But anyway, so getting back to what happened towards the end of the fight, Hebiichigo, she basically she was holding Funamushi's jutsu back with her, like she was binding the chakra of Funamushi's water style jellyfish jutsu with her needle sword, with her threads, which has the ability to basically restrain chakra or bind chakra. But then Funamushi ended up overpowering her, and he ended up basically killing her by hitting her with one of those, by hitting her with his jutsu. But that gave Boruto the chance to basically land that Rasengan on Funamushi. But Funamushi got up right after he got hit by that Rasengan, and he almost, like, he caught Boruto, and he almost killed Boruto, but Buntan came in and stabbed Funamushi right through the chest, or right through his side. So she ended up killing him. Buntan was the one who ended up killing Funamushi, not Boruto. But obviously they all played a part in beating Funamushi. And she said she did that for Kagura. So, obviously the cycle of hatred and vengeance, was continuing in this episode, which was a heavy plot point in the episode that came after that. Because obviously you guys know I'm kind of reviewing this episode late, so I already watched the episode that came after this. But anyways, yeah, so then basically we had Hebiichigo's final words, which I already talked about. And the episode pretty much ended off with everybody thinking about, they were happy that they were able to protect the village, but they were also sad that it came at a price, which was Hebiichigo's life. And that's pretty much where the episode ended off. And overall, this episode in terms of story was fantastic. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. I already told you about why I like everything. Basically, this whole arc has been pretty great. And, the character development, the relationship development, the fact that this is a war that actually feels like a war with multiple battles, enemies retreating and stuff and coming back to fight again later, just like how you have in real wars, food shortages and stuff like that. And, a lack of supplies, supplies running out, which is common. I mean, which is something that happened is likely to happen in wars and stuff. So overall, like I said, relationship development, character development, all of that would have been pretty great throughout this arc, but especially in this episode. And yeah, so with that being said, 10 out of 10 in terms of story. In terms of animation, I'll give it a... I didn't notice any problems with the animation. Well, actually, maybe it was some slight... Well, it was a part where the episode, just like in that episode where Kagura died, where they kind of like cut to the sky and you just heard sound effects of fighting going on instead of seeing the actual fight. They did that. I don't know if they're doing that just to save their animation budget for future episodes, because there's probably going to be a bigger fight towards the end of this arc, the climax of this arc. And from what I heard, they are entering the climax or whatever. But yeah, overall, that's not a big problem for me, because that's not really bad animation. It's just that they cut away from the fight while still letting you know the fight is going on. But it was a lot of fighting going on in this episode. And I didn't really notice any problems with the stuff we did see when we did see the fighting. Yeah, so and that was very brief, that portion that I'm talking about. It's not like I was in a Kagura episode where like we only seen a little bit of fighting and then they cut to the sky when Boruto was fighting Funamushi, and then we just seen his Rasengan. And we only seen like a little bit of fighting before that. This episode had a lot of fighting, and the animation and stuff was great. So 10 out of 10 in terms of animation, 10 out of 10 in terms of story, and in terms of artwork, I didn't notice any big problems with the artwork either. So yeah, I'll give the artwork a 10 out of 10 as well. So overall, this was a 10 out of 10 episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, with that being said, let me know what you guys think of this episode and of my review in the comment section below. And like the video if you liked it. And please consider subscribing as well, and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified of all of my future videos. And share the video all over the internet. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Every promise I've been praying for.